We're live. Hello.
Hey, hello.
Enzo. We've got Becky Lynch. We're doing bookie talkie stuff, and we're live. We're doing it. We're talking
Super
about One Direction Now.
for this one.
It took us a while. I just finished the book today, if I'm being honest with you. I have been in the middle of 4 books, 3 of which have been for like work or like commitments that I've had, and I'm just like, oh my God. Finished 2 of them so far. I have one more I have to finish by Friday.
You know what though? Like, that's okay because it's fresh in your mind, which is good because it's not fresh.
I even have maybe some bullet points of things we can talk about. So the reason we chose this book is because, well, I mean, of the random ones that we picked out of the hat, this one has been very popular. It's been hyped a lot. I hadn't read it before, which was a big one because I think I read about half the ones that we had.
I hadn't read it before either. In fact, I'd never read anything of hers before. So
I did read another of hers that I enjoyed much more than I enjoyed this one. Not that I didn't enjoy this one. At least while I was like in it, I was like, okay, cool shit's happening. There's some cool atmosphere shit going on. I kind of like the magic. It's just like every other one of its kind that I've read before, though. So, your initial thoughts? General thoughts. Don't get too specific yet. General thoughts.
Okay. So my very first two thoughts that I had for this book. All right, and the first one's one of those like, you ever come across one of those discussion points that ask you what are the most petty things about a book that'll make you do not finish a book, and somebody always says the character's name is something that'll make you not finish a book. I'm one of those people, okay? And if it hadn't been for the fact that I knew that I was going to have a discussion with you about this book, I would have not finished this book because I fucking hated her name. What kind of a badass character is named Elspeth? I'm sorry. What the hell? Not only is it not a badass name, it's not a sexy name. Like you're supposed to tell me that this is supposed to be the female lead in a romantic fantasy novel. And you named her Elspeth. Touch you. Huh? So that was my first.
Does Elspeth stand for anything is my question. Because if there's a reason for it, I feel like that's a little bit redeeming.
But here's the other thing though. Okay, she picked a much better name for the male lead, whose name is Raven.
Right, but she spells it weird too, though. So,
but it's just like
I kind of get Elspeth because of the type of character she was. She wasn't a badass. The other thing was a badass in it. Like she is kind of like a weak.
That's true.
She wants to stand up for
things, but that makes sense.
And she's not sexy, so she kind of was fitting her name. So, like, I get it wasn't.
I don't know. It was just the very first thing about her character that just turned me off. Like it just bothered me. But the other thing, that was a whole different thing. But my other first impression was, she got into the description of the setting and the world building. And the only thing that popped into my head was, okay, this is sort of a weird, almost atmospheric equivalent to watching a Batman movie. It's dark, it's dreary, it's rainy, and it's never going to get any better.
Misty all the time. Magic mist. Yes.
That's what went through my head. Like,
it kind of made me think of the
movie. Like, you can't watch it in the daylight. It's a Batman movie. Like, that's kind of where my mind went with that.
I had more of the horror movie, The Mist, in my head with the atmosphere a bit more.
I didn't feel like she pulled off enough tension for it to be a horror movie.
Well, no, just the vibe of the setting of The Mist and how even in the daylight.
I get that's what she was kind of going for.
Probably.
I don't really feel like that's where she wound up.
No, it kind of seemed like it. There was a few moments where it did fairly well, but overall, I feel like it was background noise most of the time.
There were a couple of moments where I was like, okay, this is where this is going. This is going to get good. And the next thing I know, I was like, oh, we're back to this again. Okay.
There
Like, it
was a
wasn't
lot of
bad. It wasn't terrible, and I didn't hate it. But overall, I was just kind of like, oh, this is a little underwhelming from where, like,
my biggest thing, and you know this is a thing for me because it's very hard to do. It's very hard to surprise me. And I was not surprised by any of it.
very cool, dude. Can I show that off? Yeah. Sorry, I'm totally gonna interrupt her. I don't throw myself out of my chair. I'm just gonna brag on my boy for a minute. So I took this picture of my in-laws' dog a while back, and he just did a Purell transfer on the watercolor paper.
That's very cool.
I just taught him how to do this about 20 minutes ago, by the way. So I thought this was awesome. Good job, dude.
Good job. That's not something I know how to do.
To your grandparents. Very cool. Love it, bud. I do more. How many transparencies do you think I have? I did not say I was going to keep you entertained.
While you're doing that, I want to put this in your brain because I know it hit mid kind of for both of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think this hit with so many people? It became like a book talk, like a very popular.
Honestly, I've been asking myself that question over and over again, and usually I can kind of spot a reason. This one really stumped me because I think it was the only thing that I could come up with was that she had a somewhat unique idea with the cards. But even that wasn't.
There's another book that does the tarot cards much better that I will suggest to you later.
Oh, we're gonna read another one too. It's on our first list of 3.
Is it? The
Princess.
Very cool.
And done much better, by the way.
Nice. It's honestly, it's fallen into what a lot of romanticies have become. And so like every beat that it hit, I kind of expected, but it did have that different taste to the magic. And I think that's probably what hooked people, especially with who was in Elspeth's head and how that created tension.
That too. I think that there was that internal, very obvious third party, but not a love triangle third party.
Yes.
I will say when it came to the romance aspect of this book, I perceived that as an epic failure.
It didn't seem natural.
It didn't. It seemed very forced. Like it was almost like she remembered, oh, I'm supposed to be writing a romance in this, and just kind of threw it in there. I felt like Elspeth had more chemistry with one of the secondary characters than she ever did with Raven. Like she spent most of the book not trusting him, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, sex. Like there was no tension in that regard to build up to it.
And the "I love you" that was literally yanked out of her at the end. Although I did like the moment where he went in her head and the other thing pushed him out. Like I like most of the things that have to do with him, with the nightmare.
It's 8:37, dude.
He was probably the best part of the book.
Yes.
And the lore.
I will say though that like I also kind of felt like she was trying really hard to hide but hint at the identity of the nightmare. And I figured that one out like 2 seconds in. Like I felt like that was really heavy-handed.
There was a few things that felt like I think there was a couple of repetitions of internals. To be like, no, they really do whatever it is feel about each other. Similarly with one of the side characters, probably the one that you think she's got more chemistry with, which is the Prince brother.
Yeah.
I also felt like he was forced into a character that wasn't really his role.
Right.
Like I don't know. He seemed predictable.
I feel like most of Elspeth's family is completely unnecessary to the whole story.
Yeah.
Like they're all just filler for no reason at all.
The cousin intrigues me a little bit on what's going on there in the background.
Yeah, I do wonder if the cousin is going to be the focal of book 2. I haven't read it yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to bother.
I don't know if I'm gonna. Yeah, I haven't figured it out either because the ending was kind of predictable to me too. Like she set that up and hammered it hard enough where I'm like, well, I know this where this is going.
Yeah.
That was my problem with it. Now I've read a lot of romantasy because that's something that I sell, and so I have to read the books that I sell. So I've seen this done over and over and over and over again. The lore was again the best part of it. Probably the part that was unique enough that people grabbed onto it. If I had to think of something that is really like what made this popular. But I also don't know if I believe that if they get rid of the mist, that it's going to cure the magic shit. Like,
I don't necessarily know that as a society that they're going to be any better off without it.
Right.
Or is it going to cause is it going to cause more problems than they already have?
I don't
understand the king's motive. Does he want to get rid of the mist or does he not want to get rid of the mist? It doesn't
he wants to get rid of the mist and be like the
he
savior.
He doesn't seem to be acting that way, though. He seems to be almost paying lip service to that, but acting like it just feels like he's acting contrary to that goal. I don't know.
He seems pretty evil without like the background of why, other than being like a megalomaniac kind of character, like a narcissist. Like my family and I was the one that usurped the magical bullshit, and so therefore I righteously like can do what I want. If I say I'm going to be the savior of the people, I'm going to be the fucking savior of the people, no matter who I have to kill to get there. It's just a very typecast kind of. I'm not one of my least favorite tropes is the evil king, but it's in like everything that I read. I swear to God, I like the king that comes off evil, but like has a good backstory to him. This guy doesn't seem to yet, at least not one that I know or am aware of.
Have I ever recommended to you a book called The Blacksmith Queen?
I don't think so. Maybe. Well, we'll put that up for me to look at later.
I wish you would finish that series because it amuses the living hell out of me. It really does.
Got a good evil character?
Because the thing is, like, she's not like wahaha evil. She's just a straight up sociopath. Like she does not have emotions. She's just goal driven. Like that's it.
That's an interesting kind of moral gray. What did you feel about the moral grayness of this, like underhanded, like I don't know, the treason?
Oh, with Raven?
Yeah, like the whole group, how quickly she was initiated in there, and just the whole.
It didn't feel believable to me. It doesn't feel believable to me. I mean, that he would do it for the sake of his brother, yes, but that he would put himself in a situation to be so exposed and his whole family to be that exposed after going through such lengths to protect his brother feels disingenuous to the background story of his character.
There's just so many problems. There's just so many problems with this. I mean,
like I said, I didn't find it to be like bad, but
how do you feel about the general pacing of it?
Honestly, I was bored for a lot of it. I don't like, even as I was reading it, there was a lot of it where I was like, I'm not going to remember most of this. Like,
See, I'm pretty fresh when reading it too, and I'm trying to remember. I mean, how many fights did she have in the woods as a bandit in a mask? And
I totally forgot about that, and it was one of the more exciting moments of the book.
how many times does she beg the nightmare for help, even after she knows what the cost is? I why not just say? That's always my big thing. And like the whole miscommunication thing. I'm like, yeah, I get secrets, but like, if you're gonna believe that you trust each other or whatever, just put it out there and let you guys fight through it, because that's going to be more rewarding.
Right.
Which I think is one of the reasons, not to get like too far off track, but why I like some of the other characters in the really popular books that I've read, is because the little things that they're keeping, or I guess the big things, the one thing that they won't tell them, is generally far more interesting and has far more impact. Because him being there didn't really impact what they were doing at the moment. Other
I also
than
found that a lot of like the so-called miscommunication trope is not talking between characters who don't trust each other based on not having a history together, right? So the characters are new to each other. Whereas to me, that type of a miscommunication trope is a lot more believable, it's a lot more relatable if they have a history together and their own traumas and their own abuses, they're all tangled up together. So being honest about something or opening up about, XYZ happened to me and it made me feel, ABC sort of way, it reopens that wound, and that wound is tied to that person because of whatever, whether that person was responsible for that wound or not. They were just somehow mentally tied to that wound, right? Like,
I guess that's what we're missing, is the depth, like how things intertwine together to
right.
make the stuff that happened. Because as she described, like the way she grew up, I feel like we were made to try to feel sorry for her. But honestly, her life seemed pretty goddamn easy. Like even after she ganged up with these people, like everything just seemed easy.
Right. Like, I mean, I know that we were supposed to feel sympathy for her character with, her stepmom didn't like her and her stepsisters were kind of airheaded and took precedence over her in the household, except you didn't grow up with them. You weren't in the household with them because your dad sent you away.
Mm-hmm.
Where, you were with an aunt who loved you and a cousin who loved you. And, maybe your uncle wasn't, your biggest fan, but he didn't mistreat you.
Right.
Like, you were still treated well. So, yeah, it's not your mother's home, but
And how easy she got the well card, or whatever the card is that she
yeah,
needed.
she didn't have to struggle to get what she was looking for. Like,
Because her dad just gave it. That was hers. It was hers.
right.
The only time I felt like real
See, now if she had
emotional,
some like sort of like epic battle with her father and one of them was nearly dead before he gave it to her, or like if there had been some sort of major conflict there, that would have made it worth that moment. But she didn't earn that moment.
I feel like the only thing that sparked anything real, I guess, out of me was her relationship with her cousin starting to break apart.
Yeah. That was the only real tension for me.
The real time I like felt something where I was like, oh, this will be resolved this way or whatever. That one's, I guess, the question I still have. And we talked about it before, like hers was an interesting, I hope that something happens with it. But that really is it. Oh, that's sad. I was imagining I enjoyed it more, but then again, it took me a long time to read it. So
yeah.
And I listened to it on audiobook, so I've been in a rather a slumpy, wanting to read more contemporary romance than anything else mood. When my brain shuts off, I'm like, just give me the smut and I'll be fine.
I almost wanted to read more romantasy out of spite because there's this author, the hell is her name? Willow Heath, I think, who's been circling around on TikTok recently in the last few days. for making videos talking about how women who read romantasy are buying into the conservative patriarchy, blah, 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 blah.
You said Willow Heath?
Yeah, which is really funny because Willow Heath is a trans woman. And in my personal opinion, trans women tend to benefit the most from the patriarchy, but whatever. Because, that's a whole different situation. But not all trans women necessarily, but trans women like that benefit from the patriarchy. But anyway, whole different situation. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on that. Ignore me, new meds. But it just out of spite makes me just want to go read things that she has deliberately shat on, like Quicksilver.
I enjoyed Quicksilver. I thought it was better than A Court of Thorns and Roses.
See, that's one that I haven't read yet because of all the hype.
I did. I enjoyed that one way. So there's a moment in the book where I was just like, she just done fucked up. She done fucked up. And then the moment when she realizes she done fucked up, like that was just so well done. She's like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe I was so stupid to do this thing that I knew not to do. Oh, you're going to use this against me. Kind of like that kind of moment. I love when angst is like, you genuinely had a brain fart for a moment in a really important situation, and then you're like, oh my God, I had a fucking brain fart. I am fucking screwed. Like, that moment was great. I love it. So I would highly, if you enjoyed, I don't know if you enjoyed ACOTAR, like, and you don't have to like think it was the best, but if you, as I did, I was a solid 3/4/3 for me. Like,
I enjoyed the series because it was one of those ones that like, that, like I said, was definitely kind of fell for me into the category of storytelling over writing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, taken as like, for me, Asham is she's very much like the taken as the whole for the series and not as the individual book. Which I know there are a lot of people who have an issue with that, and I usually do too. I'll usually quit a series if I have to read the whole thing in order for it to be good. But I was trying to push myself to get back into reading last year. We've talked about this, and
read the book. You'll like it.
So I got through that, and then I went back and decided to retry with Throne of Glass because I had tried Throne of Glass before and just didn't really get into it, and pushed my way through it. And that was the one where I really had that strong epiphany about writing and storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Throne of Glass, that's where I really got that big picture sort of mentality, because that one really kind of blew my mind with all the little strings and the way she pulled them at the end. But
I'm gonna have to continue. I'm not a Sarah J. Maas fan. She's just like mediocre, middle of the road writer, storyteller in general for me. It might just be that she likes to write about a lot of the tropes that I don't like. And so it might just be that.
She's very loquacious.
Define that word for me.
She's a yapper.
Yeah, I don't like fluff.
Yeah, and we've talked about that one a lot too. Like, she goes on and on and on and on and on when she doesn't necessarily need to.
Being an editor. Would definitely recommend Quicksilver. It's still in our pile of books that we can pick from as we talk about these things. But there was moments I still remember, and I read this, I think, in January, February this year.
Mm-hmm.
That romantic tension we were talking about was very, very present. Like her being mad at him and walking by him and him reaching out and just like grabbing her hand for a second. She doesn't turn back to look at him, but just lets him hold her hand for a second before she leaves, because he just needed that for her, and she didn't hate him enough to deny him that.
Yeah.
Because she was still mad at him, and like you could feel the pull between the two of them and the tension and the anger and the hurt feelings and all of those things. It was really well done. There are some things I think that when books have a lot of like fighting scenes, like almost war-esque scenes, I tend to tune out of those bits. It did have some of those things, but it wasn't overbearing, like how I felt book 3 of ACOTAR was overbearingly just them fighting. I'm like, I don't care, just can we get the important shit here? but it did have some of that. So like, I don't remember much of it because I do tend to tune out to those parts, which is terrible.
That's the thing too. Like, you know, kind of reading through or trying to suspend our own experiences when trying to read through certain things. Like, I had to remind myself, especially with Iron Flame, and you know, I really enjoy the Fourth Wing books, but with Iron Flame, I had to remind myself over and over again, these kids are in their early 20s. They don't have the relationship experience or life experience to just shut the fuck up and sit down for 5 minutes and figure their shit out. Like, they just don't. I have to remind myself about all the stupid petty little arguments Zach and I had when we were first together. Like, you know, I mean, obviously we weren't arguing about the same shit that, you know, Zayden and Violet were, but you know, it's, you know, when you're young, you just argue about dumb shit. It happens.
And the hormones that make you do crazy shit at that age, I remember those very well. And maybe not so well at other times because, you know, when you turn 21.
Well, I'm in my early 40s. The hormones are coming back, and let me tell you, I mean, I'm gonna start bitching my husband for stupid shit again. The other day, I think we were eating dinner. I was like, honestly, I was looking at him. I was like, "You don't stop chewing your fucking dinner. I swear to God, I'm gonna stab you with a damn fork."
Girl, I have mouth noise issues. And I just have to get up from the table because if it gets bad enough that like I have to say something, I am not nice about it. And they're like, I'm just eating. Well, I'm like, no, I was waiting until you were done eating and you were just sitting there going, would you fucking stop it? My parents both do that all the time. It drives me nuts.
Well, I think with Zach, his thing is, and I know we're off on a tangent, but I know his thing is he's been so institutionalized because like he did the military high school thing. So like he eats fast, which means really big bites, which means lots of noise. And he doesn't realize it. And I'm like,
yes. Okay, back to like topic at hand. Let's try to wrap up our thoughts about this book. And it's again trying to connect what we read, what we experienced versus what is very popular. And I do think it hit all of the notes. Like if you were to create an outline of what a romantasy does that's popular, it hit all those things. Again, it was disingenuous. The characters are young. I feel like maybe somebody younger than us would connect with it more. Somebody who hasn't read things that do it better yet. Because
maybe newer readers. I think that it was missing a lot of elements, you know, that maybe more seasoned romantasy readers would appreciate more. I know that it's, you know, a lot of things that get talked about, you know, for popular books were missing, like more spice, better spice, more angst, better angst. You know, like the emotional connection was just 100% absent. It wasn't there at all. Like I wasn't even sure she had emotions for most of the book.
Just when she's talking her nightmare,
right? Like, I was honestly like, there was a little bit where I was kind of wondering if he was going to end up being the romantic interest. Like,
can he transfer over to Raven? Can like we merge those two personalities together?
Right.
Oh, this makes me wonder what you would think of. I just had a flashback to when I was in Las Vegas 2 years ago doing a live for my job, and we were talking about a book, and I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen in book 2. And if this doesn't happen in book 2, they fucking fucked this. Like they set this up perfectly for these things to happen. And if that doesn't happen, they fucked up, like for real. And I always wondered, I will not go back and read the series because I was like, had a lot of the same issues that we're talking about. But it was like, she went to hell. She like fell in love with the Prince of Hell. And he's trying to like send her back because that seems like what she wants but only at the moment she realized she wants to stay. And so she goes back and his twin brother's up there and she's like his fated mate, but like they share the same soul. So she goes back up without her memories and has that connection she had to her former lover and is going to end up like, I'm like, if she doesn't do that in book 2, where those two get together because she can't remember she loved the other guy and she's got those residual feelings for the twin.
Right.
Then she, like, I don't know what she's doing with her life. But I just remember having the aha moment. So like the same kind of aha moment of if we could merge those two characters together would have been like, wouldn't it be a great way for him to save her in book 2?
Yeah.
Is to somehow take on the nightmare himself?
I feel like book 2 is going to be a different couple, though.
Do you?
I think so.
Oh, I wanted to give 2 other notes about characters specifically. The only, like, the sister in the group, in the in-group, the girl had to be the fighter wearing pants kind of girl. Like, why are the, like, granted, I like those girls. I like them a lot. I write them a lot. Usually they're my main character. But why can't we have a strong girly girl? Like, I try to do that too. I think that's fun, and I don't think that's done enough.
I also feel like, and maybe I'm a little bit prejudiced because this is the character that I'm currently writing. Why does it have to be either or? Because, I mean, women are complicated beings. We are not one thing all the time. I mean, you're going to find me most often in the most comfortable clothes I can. I mean, I'm walking around most days in stretchy pants and hoodies. Mm-hmm. That doesn't stop me from having $700 ball gowns hanging in my closet. I do. Over there.
I have dresses I haven't worn in. I don't think I have a no, I have my prom dress still.
Do you really?
I do. The black one.
I loved that dress on you. That was awesome.
I did too. If I ever get skinny enough to fit in it again. I don't know what I'd wear. I don't wear skirts. I don't like my thighs touching. So like I can't wear dresses. Oh, I told
biker shorts.
Huh?
Biker shorts.
Fair enough. I do have some of those too. Workout shorts and shit like that.
I wear biker shorts when I go walking and it's not 40 degrees outside.
It's been like in the 80s here. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I know. But it reminds me of a conversation I had with 2 of my writer girlfriends the other day where like we're talking about new jobs and all this other stuff, and I'm asking all the practical questions and these things, and then my friend's like, so let's talk about the important stuff, your wardrobe. And I'm like, I'm out. I just can't. I do not care at all. Hair, wardrobe, makeup, don't care. Just like, and so like the things that we were talking about afterwards, they both look at me and they go, we always forget how much of a dude you are. And I'm like, eh. And then I told them that when I worked at the funeral home, how I was not allowed to wear pants. I had to wear high heels, pantyhose, and skirts. And they're like, I can't see you. And I'm like, oh, it was awful. It was absolutely awful because like I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on something that I wouldn't wear, except for I was forced to. It was like one time my skirt fell off while I was bending over to get something in front of the owner. It was. I mean, they went back up real fast. I had pantyhose and underwear on, but fuck it. And there was like a thing in front of me, but still, I was like that. Of course, that would happen.
A pair of boots that you would probably actually like. They're so ridiculous. They're rain boots. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But they're insulated. So they're rubber on the outside. On the inside, they're warm insulated. And then they're also lined with neoprene. Like wetsuit material.
What? Why do you have these? Are these for your shark teeth?
They are. Like,
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The layers that are Becky.
So they're awesome. They fit great. Except there's one problem with them. I cannot get them off. Okay. So earlier I put them on to try them on, and I wound up wearing them for like an hour and a half.
Because you couldn't get them off.
Get them off.
How'd you get them off?
I think I might have traded like an eighth of my soul. Fitting in, I'm not sure. But so we started off by rolling them like you just saw, and then I took kind of a long paintbrush and stuck it down inside to keep the heel down while I pried because there's too much tension here and here for me to just slide it out. So I managed to get one off, and then I used the lip of my stairs to pry the other one off. But
I wonder if
yeah,
when they're
so I
wet,
can
they'll
go
be easier
stand
to
in the
get off.
river to collect teeth because it's so damn cold in that river, right?
I forget it's November. It's supposed to be cold.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't want more teeth.
Right. Oh, the other thing I was saying about characters, sorry to get once again distracted by the things that we connect to the books and shit. I mean, at least we're having fun doing that.
We are. I'm sorry. I have had the weirdest brain fog for the last like 2 weeks. Like it's trippy. I probably shouldn't be allowed to drive. I don't know.
Oh goodness, lady. Let's do things before we get off of here and then we can chat some more. So that side character really bothered me. And just like the brother he was trying to save, Raven's brother,
Yeah.
being so outrageously like insane, I guess. It just felt like a group of tropey characters that are kooky just to be kooky, and it doesn't really help or assist the
Almost like you put
story.
all of the tropey characters on a dartboard and threw darts at them.
Yeah. And then tried to mangle them in together into a group.
Yeah.
I don't know. Final thoughts. That was a middle of the road fantasy. It was enjoyable enough. I kind of get why people like. It's the same kind of character as a little bit more formed, I guess, than Bella, but not really. So people could kind of insert themselves, like, what would I do if I had the nightmare in my head? Ooh, how would I get out of it? Kind of thing. But like, even the romance wasn't. In Twilight, it was better, and that shit's problematic to begin with. But at least the tension was there. In that part.
I think I probably won't read the sequel. I'll probably at some point look at the Wikipedia article on the summary and call it good.
I hate to say that. I liked her other book, even though I did predict some of it. I liked how it came about. Her world building was much more immersive and different, and there was actually tension between the main characters. So, like, this was her first duet, and then she wrote a second duet that I've read the first of. And so she's definitely improved. So I wouldn't say write her off as a writer altogether, but maybe this world just wasn't. She didn't have the chops to develop it enough, and hopefully she's gotten, like, I've seen her get better.
I think I may have like gone into most of the book feeling a little bit prejudiced too, though, because like I said, I had it very early on. I had that impression of the whole Batman movie thing, and I like a world that's a little bit more fleshed out. It was like because a world that's so dark and dreary just feels very two-dimensional to me. Like it just feels.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot
doesn't
of the
feel like
world.
there was a lot of like. I mean, if you're going to have a world that's very mist shrouded, okay, well, does the weather ever change? Are there storms? Are there, like what makes it unique? Or is it just frozen that way? And if it's just frozen that way, it just feels lazy and unimaginative. Like
you just sparked something about how, like, I see the world, and it's pretty much just gray, and then there's a castle, there's a house, and there's a town. Like, and I don't really see how they connect together.
So what I did, I think I told you, I made a bunch of little alt process cards for my Christmas cards. And what I did for that was I used this as a backdrop and I staged a bunch of different series of photographs. And one of those, I bought a little 10-piece Christmas village with like 3-inch tall buildings and a ton of pine trees and some fake snow and staged it. And I feel like that had more character than this whole thing. And you named it Burden. Like,
What'd she name it?
wasn't it named Burden?
I know there was a lot of
like
tree stuff though. Like,
yeah, lots of
curses
trees,
was
like,
all my trees or whatever.
The town was named like Burden. Like,
I have to look this up again.
I just remember thinking, like, that's the name of your kingdom, really?
Blunder.
I just kept thinking Burden for some reason. I don't know. But either way, like, what the hell?
Blunder.
Blunder. It's a mistake.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to get a headache just from thinking about it too hard. So I kind of get it. It's probably good marketing. Young readers were probably more interested. Like, I mean, that's how I feel like a lot of book talk books get popular. I don't know if this was popular on Book Talk. I just know it was popular. Like I saw it all over YouTube for sure.
I don't think it's as popular as some others on BookTok. I know I have, when I do see it on BookTok, I see a lot of comments with, you know, like people on BookTok that like it really like it. I don't know that there is as much support for it on BookTok as there is for others.
This is also a 2022 publication, so it's probably lost steam a little bit too in that regard. But I just remember seeing it everywhere. So, okay. Well, those are our thoughts. I don't know what we're talking about. It's not going to be next week because Thanksgiving's next week.
Yes.
So the week after.
For all of our American watchers, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Safe travels for all of you who are going to be flying or driving or riding a bus or a train or whatever else anywhere.
Do you think we can start talking about this guy?
I should start reading that guy.
Yes. I was thinking by parts, but I don't know how much I have to say about part one, if I'm being honest with you. But you might have a different opinion as a new author because I already know a lot of that from having done this so many times.
I was saying, don't put it on here somewhere. It's not for here.
But because this is short, so like we'll touch base. I'll probably read more and touch base with you and be like, I think we should do the first half of it or whatever.
Okay.
It's a relatively short book, reference book.
Yeah, it is.
So
my other
60 pages.
Much bigger.
Yeah, part 3 is like just about halfway through.
Okay.
So we'll talk about it. But this is going to be the plan, I think. At least some of it we'll talk about the butter.
Sounds good.
In 2 weeks.
We also need to. What are we reading next? This next Poison Princess?
Yes. I've got to write it on my thing to find a copy of it to read. Who's that by again?
Cressley Cole.
Okay. This is you trying to get me to like her stuff, I think. I don't remember if I liked her stuff before.
I think you've only read like one of hers.
Yeah, sometimes it only takes one. I've only ever read one Rebecca Zanetti, and I will never, ever read another one of those dumpster fires ever again. So.
I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot remember if I've ever read one of Rebecca Zanetti's. For some reason, I feel like I have, but I cannot remember anything.
I don't
But
even
I follow
know.
her on TikTok.
Yeah? Do you?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a fucking mess. I'm a fucking dumpster fire, so I don't know.
Behind the scenes, we'll figure out what we're reading next, what's going on. Thank you for watching this like random sort of review of this book. I mean, I feel like we had a lot of good points. We got distracted a lot talking about the life things that connect to it, but I think we did a fairly decent job of explaining our feelings as writers and adults on this book. So thank you, Becky, for being here. Thank you, people, for stopping by. But we're reading some of this not next week, but the week after. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye. Oh, end.